When you hear the word mutation, what do you think of? Something scary like this? What about something like this?
Mutations are not as bad as you think. In fact, more often than not, they're not bad at all. Now, we're going to explain why that is, but before we can understand why mutations aren't always bad, we have to understand what a mutation is. A mutation is essentially a change in gene sequence during gene replication, which is what happens every time our cells divide. Now, usually when that happens, corrective measures in our body will pick it up and eliminate the mutated cell or correct the mistake, and no change happens. However, sometimes our body misses it or just can't detect the error, and if the mutation happens during the formation of a sperm or egg cell, it'll be passed on to the offspring.
Let's take a look at the genetic level of mutations. We have three major types of mutations. We have insertion, deletion, and substitution. Now this presentation is targeted at people who have a basic background in genetics, so I'm assuming you know what these mutations are. Let's skip the definitions.
At this point, you must be thinking, if the mutation is an error in the gene sequence, doesn't that mean it's harmful? Not necessarily. In fact, evolution is a series of mutations that accumulated over time. Without mutations, life would not have evolved beyond single-celled organisms.
Our genes are like a recipe for our traits, and not all changes to a recipe are bad. Some changes have no effect on the food we make. Some changes make the food better. Let's take this cake recipe. The recipe represents our genetic code, and the cake represents you, the human. Now, the recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of vanilla, but I accidentally added 2 teaspoons. This extra addition or insertion can make this cake too sweet to be eaten, or it can actually make the cake taste better than it is, or nothing can happen at all. If it tastes better, it'd be a beneficial mutation.
But let's bring it back to reality. It's easy to make a cake taste better, but what about humans? How do mutations make us perform better? Actually, humans are still evolving today. In fact, lactase persistence is a beneficial mutation in humans. I'm sure you've heard of lactose intolerance, but did you know it's actually the normal trait to not be able to digest milk? Normally in mammals, and most humans, the production of lactase decreases after infancy. Lactase is an enzyme that is crucial for the digestion of milk. So what that means is, as we age, our ability to digest milk is supposed to be lost. However, in some human populations, it's the most common for lactase levels to remain high even after the weaning period and persist throughout life. This is called lactase persistence and is thought to be caused by a number of single insertion, deletion, and substitution mutations on the LCT gene, which codes for the enzyme lactase. This beneficial mutation is why we are able to drink and enjoy dairy products as adults.
I hope this video educated you on the number of different things a mutation can do. Remember, most mutations are neither harmful nor beneficial. They simply have no effect. So next time you hear the word mutation, I hope what comes to mind isn't this,
but rather something more like this.